So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, it looks like Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford are in negotiations for June the 5th. Now, there's other things I want to talk about. I wanted to get this out there because this is obviously massive news. And there's other news like Miguel Cotto maybe fighting Manuel Marquez. That's something that I want to talk about. I might upload that video tomorrow, actually. And also there's Barrera and Morales that may fight again. But I want to talk about this because obviously this is huge news and huge developing news. Now, some of you have messaged me in the comment section saying that you basically said in the Philippines that there's news that Sean Gibbons has come out and said it's not Manny that Terence is fighting, but there are reports that it could be June the 5th with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. Now, I don't know what's going on. You guys might know a little bit better because here it seems like the news that comes out in the Philippines, we don't really see it here in the UK for some reason. I don't know why. So I tried to find that, and I tried to click on Sean Gibbons, went on Google, did all my research, and there's no news out there with Sean Gibbons saying anything. Maybe you guys can leave me a link, but I haven't seen anything. So as far as I'm concerned, that Manny Pacquiao is a hot favorite right now. Now, I do think I'm gonna do another video after this. I wouldn't be shocked, and like I said, after this I'll upload another one, that it may be Keith Thurman, because everything's hush hush from that side, and it could be that the fact that Sean Gibbons, or you guys are saying Sean Gibbons are saying that it's not going to be Manny Pacquiao. I don't know. I don't know because I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen an interview from Sean Gibbons. I haven't seen any articles or anything that I can read. I've tried to look for it, but I've not seen anything before I come on it, before I come into film this video. So to be honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you, I would love Manny Pacquiao to fight Terence Crawford. I think it would be a great matchup. I think it would be a great fight. And I think it would be a massive fight for Terence Crawford. He hasn't got that marquee name yet that people consider as a top welterweight. He would finally be getting that in Manny Pacquiao, and there's no excuses for anybody because, like I said, if Terence Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao, that would be the biggest win by Spence or Crawford. And does that make Terence Crawford, if that fight happens, can Terence Crawford go on the table now and then command more? Because there's no way Spence can then talk about his resume. There's no way Spence can talk about anything because Terence Crawford would have just leapfrogged Errol Spence. So for me, firstly, I think the fight, let's stop looking ahead because there's no guarantee he's going to beat Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao still is very, very dangerous. You would have to favor Crawford because of the age and how good Crawford's been looking. But again, that for me is a very dangerous fight for Terence Crawford. I think Manny Pacquiao is more than capable, even now, to beat him. I think some people are overlooking how good Manny Pacquiao is. Even now, remember, let's not forget, he beat Keith Thurman. And he showed in that fight that he's got heart. He's still got a lot of heart. He's still got the desire to fight. He's still got punch power. He still can take a punch. So this is a tough fight. See, Crawford's a tricky fight. Crawford's a fast fighter and he's very tricky. He's not going to make some of the mistakes that Thurman made. However, Thurman's a bigger welterweight. He's physically more stronger than Crawford. He's physically able to impose his size more on Terence Crawford. On Manny Pacquiao. Crawford's not physically the biggest welterweight, so Crawford's going to have to probably look to pick Manny apart and outbox him. So I think this makes for an intriguing matchup. But I think as a fight fan, it's a great fight. It's a great fight, and it's a fight that we'll all be looking forward to because, to be honest with you, right, for me, Terence Crawford's was rotting away a little bit, and this will put Terence Crawford back on the back at the top. Because if he can win this fight, Terence Crawford goes right to the top of the welterweight division. He would have the most significant win at welterweight over Spence. Spence might have beaten Danny Garcia. He might have beaten Sean Porter. He might have beaten Kell Brook, but none of those guys are on the level of Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao probably has a better win than all of those guys in Keith Thurman. He beat, probably, in my opinion, the best out of those guys. He beat Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman, right, like I said, I know he would come back from injury and he wasn't looking great, but still it was an impressive win. So Pacquiao right now is he's still a force. He's still a force. And let's be honest, I would put him in top 3 welterweight. I think he's a top 3 welterweight. A lot of people messaged me on Twitter that, oh, Matt Pacquiao's not, he's past his best and it's not a great fight and Crawford should be punching higher than that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because firstly, from a profile standpoint, Manny Pacquiao takes Crawford to the next level. Secondly, Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman just 2 years ago. And Keith Thurman, for me, is better than Danny Garcia. He's better than Sean Porter. And he's better than any other welterweight out there. And Manny beat him. I know it was close, but it was quite a comfortable win in the sense that there was no controversy. It was a win. You know, he knocked him down, hurt him in the 10th. Manny Pacquiao won quite comfortably at 41, 42 years of age. So Manny Pacquiao is still a problem for anybody. Right? And a lot of people are going to write him off and say he's got no chance. I don't really see it that way. I think Manny Pacquiao has his shot in this fight. Wouldn't be shocked if he pulls it off. You know, I think I started doubting Manny a long time ago. A long time ago. But in terms of the fight being made, I just want to hold us back because we've heard many times before that Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford are in negotiations, and we've heard this Abu Dhabi talk and we've heard this talk about the Middle East before, and it's never materialized. And the fact that Sean Gibbons is saying otherwise, again, makes you doubtful because Sean Gibbons is Manny Pacquiao, as we all know, is Manny Pacquiao's manager, and he manages everything Manny Pacquiao does. And if he's coming out and saying that that's not true and it's not going to be Manny, then obviously that puts doubts. And let's not kid ourselves. Manny Pacquiao was in negotiations with Mikey Garcia, and we thought that was a done deal. I don't know what's going on with Manny Pacquiao right now. You know, I don't know whether there's rumors. I don't know whether people are just you know, trying to use his name. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what's going on with Manny Pacquiao. A lot of you keep saying that there's a lot of political stuff going on back home that he's trying to take care of. So we don't know where Manny's at right now. I don't know where he's at from a mental point of view. Is he gonna even fight again? So I don't know whether these are rumors because according to Sean Gibbons, it looks like Manny will fight again, right? But is that fight going to be against Terence Crawford? A lot of you from the comments, especially from you guys from the Philippines, don't think so. Now there are rumors that yes, there's negotiations going on for June the 5th. But how many times, guys, have we heard these rumors before? We've heard these rumors. I've heard it about 10 times that Bob Arum says that they're in negotiations to fight in Abu Dhabi. You know, I've heard it like probably a couple of times this year. So to be honest, I don't know what rumor to believe when I hear about Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford. They've been trying to make that fight for so long. And they've been talking about Abu Dhabi and they've been talking about all of that for so long. It just doesn't seem like it ever comes to fruition. I personally think that we're going to be shocked by who Terence Crawford fights, but I don't think we're going to be shocked by it happening. Do I think Manny Pacquiao is going to fight Terence Crawford? No. I'm just giving you, I think there's rumors and yeah, there might be negotiations going on. I don't think so. But I do think Terence Crawford is going to pick a top welterweight, and I do think Terence Crawford is going to be fighting somebody that we want him to see him fight, or top welterweight. I'm edging now. I'm just saying this is like a wild guess, and I'm going to make a video about this. I'm guessing Keith Thurman. I'm putting a wild guess out there, and by the way, I have no inside information. I'm not reading anything. When he said big pay-per-view fight, right? Sean Porter would be a pay-per-view fight. However, are you going to be that happy if he fights Sean Porter? Yeah, people will give him credit for it and it'll be a big name. But I think Keith Thurman would be a way bigger pay-per-view fight. And when he said big pay-per-view fight, that started getting my thinking, is there something cooking behind the scenes between Keith Thurman, Terence Crawford, and Bob Arum? Are they getting something together? I don't know. Now, the rumors that are coming out that it's Manny Pacquiao, because there's saying that there's talks, and no one's reported anything about Keith Thurman. No one's reported anything about Keith Thurman. So that's just a wild guess. And maybe it's something that if Manny Pacquiao doesn't come to fruition, which I don't think so, it's something I would want for Terence Crawford. Unless it's a Spence fight, I want him to fight Keith Thurman. Because I think Keith Thurman would be a massive pay-per-view fight, and I think it would be a credible opponent. I think it would be a huge fight, and I think it would be a risky fight for Terence Crawford as well. I know people may disagree. I think it's a risky fight for Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman. That's no joke. So I'm intrigued with how this plays out, because listen, this is gonna affect the welterweight division. Whatever happens with Terence Crawford next is gonna shape up the welterweight division. If Terence Crawford fights a Keith Thurman or Manny Pacquiao, all of a sudden, and he wins, we're all assuming, because let's be honest, I don't know if he beats either guy. I think he would be favorite, but it's by no means he beats Pacquiao or Thurman. Those are very hard fights for him. Those are fights that he could easily lose. Right? And I know people may disagree. I'm telling you, he could lose to Manny Pacquiao or Keith Thurman. Those guys are top fighters. And I still think, although I don't think Keith Thurman's what he was and Manny Pacquiao definitely not what he was, they've still got enough left to trouble Terence Crawford. Enough left, trust me. And Pacquiao showed that. Both of them showed that in their fight with each other. So, to be honest with you, and if Crawford is to win against Pacquiao and Thurman, that shapes up the welterweight division. I'll tell you why. Because now all of a sudden Spence can't call the shots. Spence can't say to Terence Crawford, oh, well, I've got 3 belts, you've got 1. Because now Terence Crawford's profile gone through the roof. Because he would have just beaten a guy that's more credible than anything Spence has beaten on his welterweight resume. If he beats Thurman or he beats Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford would have beaten somebody that's more credible than anybody that Spence has beat. Do you see where I'm coming from? It potentially makes Terence Crawford a 50-50 partner in the Spence fight. And Spence won't be able to argue with that, in my opinion. But you never know. But for me, it would make him an equal partner in that fight. Whereas right now, Errol Spence thinks that because of his resume, because of the fact that he holds more belts, he should call the shots and he should be the A-side in the fight. If Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao or Keith Thurman, Errol Spence can say goodbye to that. And if he does have that energy, then for me, it would be considered ducking. Because I just don't see how you can, if Crawford beats a Pacquiao or Thurman, right, that, Errol Spence can say that it's not a 50-50 fight then. Because Crawford's name would go through the roof. His profile will go through the roof. And the fact that he would have beaten probably somebody more credible than anything Spence has beaten at welterweight. So I honestly feel that whoever Crawford fights next may shape up whether we get the Spence fight. It also tells us what Terence Crawford's about. Because Terence Crawford could lose to Pacquiao and Thurman, and then everyone will say, look, he stepped up and he got beat. You see? So this is a very, very important fight. His next move is a very, very important move from Terence Crawford. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to duck, he's going to fight another Josecito Lopez. There's no way he can fight Josecito Lopez after this has been built up, and that's not a pay-per-view fight. So this is going to be, I personally think it's going to be a big one. I think at worst it's going to be Sean Porter. But I think to make the fans happy, I think it will have to be Keith Thurman or Pacquiao. But at worst, what fans will accept is Porter. I don't think it can be a Josecito Lopez, because there's no way that's a big pay-per-view fight. There's no way. So I always said that I don't thought that was nonsense. But now let's see what happens. Does this Manny Pacquiao fight go through? Is it a Keith Thurman? Is it a Sean Porter? I don't think the Pacquiao fight will happen, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But let's see. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.